This is an NBC News special report. Here's Hallie Jackson.
Good day. We're coming on the air with breaking news. NBC News can now report that former President Donald Trump's attorneys have been meeting with the special counsel's office this morning. And according to multiple sources familiar with the matter, they've been told to expect an indictment stemming from the Department of Justice's investigation into the January 6th Capitol attack and the alleged broader scheme to try to overturn the legitimate 2020 election. This would be the first time that a former president and, of course, current presidential frontrunner in the Republican primary would be charged in connection to disrupting the transfer of power between administrations. Today's indictment also comes just weeks after that same special counsel, Jack Smith, became the first to file federal criminal charges against a former president. That was related to a separate matter, the former president's alleged mishandling of classified documents at his home at Mar-a-Lago. Mr. Trump also faces separate criminal charges for a third case in New York State, where earlier this year he pleaded not guilty to charges involving hush money payments during his 2016 campaign. Any new charges related to election interference, however, could be among the most significant legal challenges that Mr. Trump faces, according to multiple legal experts. A reminder, he has denied wrongdoing in all of these cases. I want to bring in NBC's Garrett Haake, who covers the former president. Just back now from the Department of Justice or the special counsel's office. Garrett, tell us more about what we know and what we think might happen next.
Well, Hallie, we understand that this meeting between Donald Trump's attorneys and the special counsel's office appeared to have lasted about an hour, and that it was planned in advance, an opportunity for the two parties to sit down and discuss what may be coming down the pike here in terms of an indictment of the former president, which the attorneys, according to multiple sources familiar with this meeting, were told to expect. Now, this would be kind of the latest step towards what has appeared to be a likely indictment for some time now, coming a little more than a week after Donald Trump himself received a target letter, a formal notice from the special counsel's office. The charges were likely coming his direction. So this meeting today could move us a little bit closer to that. The official timeline here is still unknown. Looking back at the recent past here, when Donald Trump was indicted on the classified documents case, that meeting was held on on a Monday. On the following Thursday, or that 3 days later, essentially, Donald Trump posted on his social media platform that he had been told he was indicted. The indictment was then unsealed the following day. We don't know if the same timetable will follow here, but we do know that this indictment, if and when it comes, has been long anticipated by the former president. He has made the idea that he is being somehow politically targeted for his views on the 2020 election central to his 2024 election message. He has run a campaign suggesting that he is being targeted because he is such a threat to the Biden White House. And it has, to some degree, worked in the Republican primary, elevating him above the rest of the field. He's used previous indictments quite successfully to raise money for his campaign. But as you rightly note, this is a different set of facts in what many people believe to be a much more serious case, one that the entire country is familiar with, having watched the events following the 2020 election and his refusal to concede through January 6th and the attack on the Capitol, all of which is within the scope of this investigation by the special counsel. Which elements of that he and his prosecuting team may choose to charge remains an open question at this hour.
Yeah, important to remember, this is not simply related to the attack on the Capitol on January 6th. This is a broader set of circumstances involving the whole plot, allegedly, to overturn the 2020 election. Also important to remember, Garrett, Donald Trump himself had said he was notified that he was the target of an investigation, which is another data point leading us to believe that, obviously, as we are reporting today, an indictment is closer than it has been before, it seems, on this issue.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.